I was doing Sports Phone Giants postgame last year, early in the year, and the Giants were struggling right around this time, didn't get off to a great start. And I thought it was the text that rang true the entire year that the Giants last year felt built like they used the transfer portal. Like it was just, Blake Snell late and Matt Chapman, and you have all these guys that are looking at all these different options, and maybe one option doesn't come through, and so now this is the best option, and the Giants are trying to get Blake Snell for the 1 year plus the opt-out is a bargain, and you hope he pitches great, and if he opts out, so what? And just, you don't get Chapman on the long deal because he wasn't commanding that anywhere else, and so they just felt pieced together last year. Mm-hmm. And like it was a bunch of, guys that didn't have better options or value plays or guys that maybe got a little desperate toward the end. But they were built differently this year, and I think the lack of a roster move once the opening day roster is set that's in today's MLB, that's freaking unheard of to not have a roster move for 11 straight days. Like that's incredible.
It's different. And it's one of the biggest differences to me. I've made this comp a few times. Last year and the last couple of years, it really felt like this team was being ran like a fantasy baseball team, where guys were constantly getting picked up off the waiver wire. You'd pick up an A.J. Pollock and throw him in the middle of your lineup because the computer told you needed a left-handed bat. But when you make so many of those moves, if you make 66 roster moves, it's also hard to build a little bit of team chemistry, to be honest. And like we talked about this earlier, one of the biggest differences this year when you're looking at this roster that does look a little similar to last year's roster, it's the fact that these guys are getting comfortable playing with each other. It's the fact that we didn't even get to see Elliot Ramos and Jung-Hoo Lee in the outfield next to each other last year. We're seeing the chemistry form with Jung-Hoo Lee between Luis Matos and Mikey Yaz, Patrick Bailey, what he does with his pitching staff, and Matt Chapman and Willie Adames being two clubhouse leaders. There is some chemistry, and you even heard that with a guy like Logan Webb defending Camilo Doval yesterday, saying, look, it's one bad outing early in the season. We still trust him in these situations, and that's why I do think with the Buster Posey regime change, guys like Camilo Doval will get a little bit of a longer leash to figure it out at the major league level. I know that might frustrate some fans, but again, they're 8-2.